Hey there YouTube, and welcome to another episode of ZaxChat where we talk about movies and more. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we continue our long-running and complicated discussion about the DC Expanded Universe and the brand new installment therein. That's right, today we're talking about... Now bear in mind, I am in no way a professional film critic. I have no credentials for this job. I'm little more than a guy in Melbourne who loves movies and really enjoys talking about them. That's why I do this. And one of the things I really enjoy is comic book movies, especially when they're done really, really well. And that's why it pains me to say that Suicide Squad does not fall into that category. But I'm not here to just heap negativity, unlike some critics out there. Rotten Tomatoes! Excuse me. I have some very strong opinions on why this film did not deliver the way I, and a lot of people, wanted it to. First of all, if you're not familiar with the premise of Suicide Squad, then you've been living under a rock for the last 8 months because the marketing for this thing has been everywhere. But the basic premise is that a woman named Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, forms a team of some of the biggest and baddest villains of the DC universe. She brings them together so they can try and do some good for the world, and in return, they get to shave time off their prison sentences. Now, this is a big cast. We've got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Will Smith as Deadshot, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Cara Cara somebody as Enchantress, Jay Hernandez as Diablo, Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, Ben Affleck is back here as Batman, and of course, the one that we've all been waiting for, the one that everybody has been poised on the edge of their seat for, to see the debut of Jared Leto as the Joker. And there are other members of the squad, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to delve into all that right now, because we want to talk about the movie itself. As always, let's start off with the performances. Now, I think everybody in this movie did a really good job. I thought all the performances were very well handled and accurate to the source material of their characters. All except for this guy's name right here. I'm not going to even try and pronounce that. He played Killer Croc. And whilst Killer Croc looked cool, I don't know, I wasn't a fan. But Margot Robbie, Will Smith, Viola Davis, and Jay Hernandez in particular did really, really well and gave solid performances. I don't think there's a single performance in this film that at the very least can't be classed as good. Now, people are pretty up in the air about Jared Leto's version of the Joker, and I'm going to say right out of the bat, I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of the look with all the tattoos and the grill, but I got past that and I really liked that he brought this kind of raw, crazy sexuality to the role. I've never seen the Joker played like that before, but he really drew me in and I enjoyed his portrayal as the Joker. I look forward to seeing more of that in the DCEU moving forward, especially in regards to how they're going to set up the fact that this guy is the arch nemesis of Batman. I mean, in this movie, they dwell very heavily on his relationship with Harley Quinn, but at the end of the day, that's not what Joker is best known for. He is best known for being the arch nemesis of the Bat. But hang on, Zach. You just said that this wasn't a good movie, that it wasn't handled well. What are you talking about with the good performances? Why, thank you, Zach. Yes, I did say that. Let's talk more about it. As I was sitting there watching Suicide Squad, it became very apparent to me that within this one film, there were two very different films. There was the one that David Ayer had made, his original vision, and that was pretty damn good. The second film was the one that the studio wanted him to make and made him do reshoots for and throw them into the movie. When the rumours surfaced of reshoots happening on Suicide Squad to add humour and levity to the storyline, a lot of people from the studios, and I think even David Ayer himself, came out and said, no, that's not the case. We're not doing it just to put humour in. Reshoots are always part of production, and to a certain extent that is true. However, in this instance, the reshoots were glaringly obvious because they stood out and did not mix with the rest of the film. There were scenes in this movie that were so on point. It was classic Suicide Squad, but they were preceded by or followed up by scenes that were just awkward and didn't have the right feel. And that made the pacing and tone of this movie really confusing. My best friend said to me as we were walking out, "Did you enjoy this film?" and I had no idea how to answer him. And for my money, it's pretty obvious what's happened here. David Ayer made his version of Suicide Squad, and I'll wager that is a damn good film. I bet it really would have been a darkly humorous, gritty, seedy take on the source material. But about the same time as they were finishing up production, Batman v Superman came out, and what were some of the complaints about that? That it was too dark, that it took itself far too seriously, there wasn't enough levity to the story. And it's pretty obvious that at that point, the studio freaked out, and they started thinking, oh no, but Suicide Squad is also really dark. How can we lighten this up? I know what we'll do. We'll do reshoots, and we'll add humor, we'll add jokes. That'll work. But that's not enough. We need to do something more. Hey, what did Marvel do? Didn't Marvel release a movie about a relatively unknown group of bad guys that had to come together and face evil? What was that? Oh, that's right, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, how did they make it work for them? That's right, they used a soundtrack of classic songs that everybody knows and loves to sing along to. We'll do that, and to make it even better, we'll add twice as many songs, so people will just have to love it. There is a scene in this film, I shit you not, where Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky starts playing. You know the song. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. I got a friend in Jesus. You all know the song, right? The exact same song was used in Guardians of the Galaxy, and they used it in Suicide Squad as well. It was at that point, I almost stood up and threw my drink at the screen because it pissed me off so much. The soundtrack, whilst it is made up of a great collection of songs, is so abrasive because it feels like every 15 minutes they play 30 seconds of a well-known track and they're just beating you over the head with it. It's so in your face, it made me cringe. At the end of the day, I think it's pretty clear that the studio panicked. And in that panic, they forgot one very important thing. Zack Snyder, who made Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, is well known for making dark, gritty films. David Ayer is also very well known for making dark and gritty films. But the thing that they forgot is that David Ayer is not Zack Snyder. Their interpretations of dark are very different things. And I just wish that they hadn't put their little fingers in and meddled with David Ayer's film, because I think his vision of what Suicide Squad should be would have been a very, very good film. I'm giving Suicide Squad a 6.5 out of 10. Now that's higher than what I gave Batman v Superman, and I think it deserves it. I think this movie is better than Batman v Superman and deserves more praise. In the midst of this cacophony of mistimed humor, choppy editing, and an overly abrasive soundtrack, deep within the recesses of all that, there is a really good movie. And I really hope one day we get to see it. Warner Brothers, if you happen to be listening, when this movie gets released on Blu-ray, don't release a 3-hour extended cut, release a director's cut, and let David Ayer and the fantastic cast show us what their initial vision was. Now, I appreciate that everybody has their different viewpoints on this film. I've actually spoken with a lot of people that hated it and a lot of people that really enjoyed it. And if you are one of those people that really enjoyed it, power to you. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it. But if you're like me and you were disappointed, do not think that gives you leeway to jump behind your keyboard and get on forums or comment sections and tear down people who did enjoy the film. That is a dick move, and anybody who was associated with that kind of behavior should have their internet privileges taken away and be immediately sterilized. Alright, that last bit was probably a bit too far, but definitely take their internet privileges away! My final thought is this. Whilst I was disappointed by Suicide Squad, I'm very happy where I live in a world where a better Suicide Squad movie does exist. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this. That's right, Batman: Assault on Arkham. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend you check it out, because to me, it's a perfect representation of what the Suicide Squad is. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments, tell me what you thought of the movie, because I'm very curious to know. This is definitely one of those films where I think we're going to be talking about it for a long, long time. Now, I'm very happy to announce that starting from my next video, I'm going to be branching out as far as content goes. I start every video off by saying, welcome to ZaxChat, where we talk about movies and more. The more comes into it on my next video, because I am going to be reviewing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I've read it a couple of times now. I absolutely Well, I'm not going to tell you what I thought about it because I have to save that for the video, but I will be reviewing that next time. And I'll also be talking about a very special project that me and my better half are working on, and if you are a Harry Potter fan, we are going to need your help with it. As always, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Never forget the 3 most important things in life: peace, love, and respect. Peace out. Thanks for sticking around. Continuing in the vein of superhero movies everywhere, this is going to be our very first post-credit scene, and I'm going to introduce you to a very special someone. This man has been my best friend for nearly all of my life. He is an authority on movies and comic books and virtually every form of entertainment there is in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the one, the only, Mr. Jason James. This is Jason. He is my housemate and my best friend, and he thought of a massive, massive plot hole in Suicide Squad as we walked out of the film yesterday that we would like to talk to you about. And so this is an official spoiler warning. For those of you who haven't seen the film, maybe turn away now, or if you don't give a damn, then that's fine too. But tell me about this plot hole, man, because you blew my mind.
The very first thing that entered my mind, especially during the credit scene, and the first thing I said to you and other people is, when Diablo attacks the male demonic creature...
Yep.
Don't know the name. Doesn't matter.
Incubus, I think.
Incubus?
Yeah.
When the Diablo attacks the Incubus, they set it up so that he has to attack, keep him busy. He turns into his demonic Diablo self. Mm-hmm. He shoots him with the firepower of, I don't know, let's say 1,000 suns, whatever it is. It's ultimate.
It's demon fire.
It's demon fire.
It's hot stuff, right?
Very hot.
Yeah.
Yet, a bomb is the thing that destroys this demon, not the power of this Diablo. To me, Diablo's power would be more effective than a bomb.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Now, do you think that's an issue with the editing, or do you think that that's something that they screwed up in the film, or...? I
think it's an oversight that they just went, you know what, let's build up tension, let's give Killer Croc an excuse to swim underwater to help his team set up the bomb. But like you said, there was that issue too with the guy that planted the bomb. It just exploded, but couldn't they have given it enough time to...
Exactly, like, you know, just maybe change the timer. It's not that really... Look, it's like kind of 80% of this film, it's just like you said, it was just like, it'll do. Just rush it out.
Just put it under the carpet and just... But yes.
Yeah.
That was my one question. The thing that
was your one question. Out of everything that was wrong with this film, that was your one question.
That was the main one. The main question was, could they have not gone the way of, like we were saying, how Diablo could have sacrificed himself to overpower this demon with his firepower.
Exactly.
And destroy him that way.
It would have been a much more powerful moment that way.
It would have.
Yeah.
It would have been a more ultimate sacrifice moment. It would have had a more emotional impact for someone like Diablo, rather than just a poof.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Well, again, thanks for sticking around and watching the post-credit scene, guys. Jason's face is one that you're going to see a lot more moving forward. Like I said, he is an authority on all things entertainment, and he will be joining me in the future for more special things. But that sounds a bit weird. He will be joining me in the future as we do more reviews and to give his opinions. But thanks very much for watching. Have a great night.